All right. I want to call this Winning Wednesday because I'm going to talk about wins. And what I would like for you to do, if you can, go in the comments and put a win in that you had for the week. And I don't want you to like think about this lightly. So, like anything that, normally you would struggle with, like for me, a win this week probably was I actually got my kid off to school, even though it was one day with like no panic, no struggle, no crying. Like that's a win in my book. Holy crap, Kristen, that's awesome. Kristen just helped one of her new promoters hit a bonus. That's incredible. That is definitely a win. Way to go on that. I'm excited to watch her. So throw a win in the comments. And I think it's important, kind of like when we were talking about last week about confidence and just knowing where you're at. And like, it's very important to pat yourself on the back once in a while. And I think so many times we focus on what we're not doing right instead of saying like, oh my gosh, I actually did this right this week, right? Like focus on the wins and it's going to create so much positivity for your life and your business. And great job, Carol. Carol put in she got some new customers this week. I'm going to just talk about wins on social media and quick wins. And I love this topic because I'm definitely a person of action, but I also love something that I can almost instantly see working. So some of this stuff obviously is like not going to be instant, but close enough. You're going to have a quick win. Yeah, so true, Kristen. Be grateful for the wins and learn from the losses. I saw this thing. You're scrolling me out, so I appreciate it though. I saw this thing it was either like Instagram or TikTok, but it's a little faith driven. So, and that's me. But it said something about like when you're living in the moment of a blessing, like enjoy the moment because there might be a battle around the corner, but then there's another blessing coming right after that. So I think it's definitely important to be grateful for the wins and just know that, you know, in that moment in time, enjoy it. Jess, I had a huge goal in my business. Yes, you did. That was awesome. That was awesome to cheer on. And I think one thing when we talk about winning on social media that is so humbling for me, especially, is I know that almost every person in this group, in our group on my Facebook, like literally are the most genuine people that always are so supportive when I'm winning in some way, shape, or form. And like I said, even if I make a post saying like, oh, this is what I did for the day and I feel like I'm crushing it, like all the people that are always commenting, like, you're a rock star, like that's just such a good feeling. And I just think it's so cool too, sometimes like how supportive people here in social media can be. I want to remind you guys of a couple things before I go into my notes. Number one, the podcast turnover time is like 24 to 48 hours right now because I was uploading all of our old podcasts. If that's new to you, we're available on Spotify and Apple, but you can just go to the link in the top of the Hustle and Slay page and click our podcast. And then just make sure you follow it because when you follow it, anytime we drop a new episode, it'll give you a heads up. There's a new episode that's gone on. And so there's that part of it. We're also streaming some these recordings into the Hustle and Slay page, but it's not like at a certain day or time. So you'll see them in there. If you want to go rewatch them, you can do that as well. And then the other thing I was just thinking about, and now I forgot. So obviously it wasn't that important, but I'll bring it back up later. Oh, the accountability post. Okay. I see a lot of people were commenting yes. I want to encourage you guys on that accountability post. And just a little social media tip. If you're ever inside a group and you're looking for something, if you click on that little magnifying glass, you can type in exactly what you're looking for. So if you don't remember where the accountability post is, or maybe it got really far down, just type in accountability and it should bring that post back up for you when you search it. Go in there though and find someone. I know for me, like I'd probably be the person that would type yes and then just sit there and wait. But if you're really yearning for an accountability partner, and I think it's a very important thing to have in your business, go in there and just find someone that looks like they're your vibe and that you could be accountable with. You're not stuck with them for life. So if it doesn't work out, it's okay, go find another one. But I encourage you guys to go through that because I see a lot of people that were commenting yes, some people were on night shift, all that kind of stuff. Like get to messaging each other. And also know that sometimes when you're not friends with someone, your message will go to their requests. So they might not even see it because I know sometimes I don't check my requests. Sometimes there's creepy stuff in there. But sometimes that's what will happen when you're not friends with somebody. So now that I got all that out, I want to talk quick wins. And I want to know how many people it's okay if you're not, but I'm very competitive. I've kind of always been that way. Um, you can put in the comments if you are, or if you're not. I'm always curious to know the people I'm talking to. And it's not a big deal if you're not. I would say, I know lots of people who are not competitive, but when God sent me my husband, he knew what we were about to do. We are two of the most competitive people. Um, Haas will get mad at like a 15-year-old kid if they're winning in 31. It's like he's another level of competitive. He said I am to an unhealthy point. I'd almost agree with you there, Aaron, because yeah, I tend to get very competitive. And I remember when I first started my business in network marketing, Jess would always, we'd have all these contests going on all the time. And I remember there was like a pair of pink Kendra Scott earrings. And yeah, I could have went and got them myself, but I wanted to win them. I wanted to specifically win them. And it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't like I had all these bragging rights or whatever. It's just in my mind, why not try to win them instead of go buy them myself, right? So I've always kind of been that winning type. And in business, it's really helped me because, excuse me, if I see someone doing something that I want to do, not in a jealous way or anything like that, but it's almost like they've paved the way for me. Like I want to win at it too, because I see them winning at it. So example, like people hitting ranks, like I don't know about you guys, but when I see it and I'm not to that point yet, it's very motivating because I'm like, I want to win too, or I want to hit that rank too. I start to go after it even harder because I'm just a competitive person. I don't want to be the one that's like left behind. Um, for lack of better word, right? When it comes to winning on that aspect, like I'm always the one. My mom used to do this when I was a kid too, God bless her. If I couldn't do something, or no, wait, if I wanted to do something, she would tell me that I couldn't do it. I don't really know how that's turned out now, but it motivated the hell out of me. Because if she was like, you can't do, 10 push-ups, I'd be like, yes, I can. And then I would totally like do them or try until I possibly couldn't do it anymore. And there is a psychology behind winning. Okay. And I probably don't talk about this a lot, but one time I went to college for psychology, and then I realized that I would get paid more as a Dollar Tree manager, which at that time, looking back, wasn't that much, but I got paid way more as a entrepreneur. So um, psychology has always been my thing, and I think it's really cool because there's so much psychology behind winning and what it does for your brain and how it motivates you. Um, and I saw this quote, so I had to bring it in here. Winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners. So today, to think about some stuff that, like, as we talk about, I'm going to give you some ideas to create quick wins on your social media. And just what I mean by that is like things that will motivate you to show up more, things that will motivate you to post more, things that will motivate you to go live, to connect, all that kind of stuff. Because that's what I'm about. I don't know about you guys, but I get like, if I'm doing stuff like going live and doing reels and doing TikToks, like I want to see results. I'm always just been a results driven person, or I need to pivot, right? And so just so you know, winning increases testosterone, which in turn increases the chemical messenger dopamine. Dopamine hits the reward network in your brain, which makes you feel better. So most people, when they're winning, think about the last time you got a new customer, or like Kristen, you helped a new person to to their bonus. Like I'm sure that felt really good, right? Like I think about when a football team wins and like, people are screaming, like it's just that like winning feeling that makes people feel really good. And what if you could constantly do that in your business? What if you could constantly have that feel good dopamine about where your business is going, about winning, about helping people? And it will make you want to help more people, right? Like I remember when I get a customer, not I remember, I don't know why I said that, like it was years ago or something. Whenever I get a customer that's super excited about what they're doing, I get more excited. And then I'm like, oh, I want to share this with more people, or I want to feel that feeling again of like helping someone that's super excited about what we have, right? So think a little bit about that and how winning. And I'm a big person of sharing your wins. Okay. So like Kristen, I'm just going to use her as an example because she threw it in there. You can make a post on an attraction post, especially curiosity post about like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited today. I just helped someone who just joined my business hit, the second bonus already. And you don't have to say, whatever amount, but like, I'm just super excited and I wanted to share that with you. Right. So many times too, we think that we're like bragging, but you're showing people what's possible. And if they don't know what's possible, how would they know what you're doing? How would they know that they're going to get that support from you? Right. So there's lots of ways to share like all the stuff you guys just talked about without directly saying like, oh, this is what I laugh, Erin will laugh at this, that girl No Shame Sales Game. Whenever she talks about a company, she's like, says, I know the new customer that bought your unicorn tiers. She calls everything unicorn tiers or like the rank. She's like, you hit unicorn rank 500 or something. So all the time you do that stuff, you can just go on your Facebook, use a picture of yourself and just say, hey, you know what? I just hit a huge milestone in my business and I'm so freaking excited about it. I just wanted to say that. And then look at all the people that will be like, oh my gosh, congratulations. It works a lot better. So, on a couple episodes ago, when we talked about attraction marketing, it works a lot better than saying, yeah, I hit this rank by selling this many unicorn tiers, right? Because sometimes that just doesn't even make sense to people. They don't even get it. But if you just said something like, oh, I'm so excited, we're all winning. I think we don't realize too, people want to be a part of stuff that's winning. I've never had someone join my business and they're like, wow, this looks like it sucks. I really want to be a part of it. Or it looks like no one's making money. Sign me up. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be the someone that's like, oh my gosh, Kristen's helping people hit bonuses in 4 days. I'm going to ask her for more information. And I don't know about y'all, but I would love people in my inbox just asking me for more information about what I do and how I do it. Right. Oh, I wanted to give you guys these couple little tips too, because everybody's always asking me about like algorithm and what flags and what doesn't. There's a couple words that right now on Facebook, if you're using them, it's immediately going to push your stuff to the bottom. So I wanted to forewarn you of those. Um, they are, and like even in right now, like they're bugging even in the comments and stuff. So like if you comment on someone's stuff using these words, join, sales, share. I'll post these in the page after, so don't worry. Money, unfortunately, when it comes to money, y'all get creative on social media. Use like shmoney, like Cardi B says, put an S in front of it. Or say like, I always put doll hairs, but I spell it out like an actual doll's hair. Um, get creative with how you do it. They're even flagging people that are using multiple emojis on a post. So if you're somebody who likes to use emojis, I did, or I do, but I'm going to lay off that a little bit because they're flagging all that stuff. Comment, like anything like that. Those are being flagged by the algorithm right now. And I just saw a bunch of marketers talking about it. So I wanted to bring it to y'all's attention. Because I know even for me, sometimes we just post stuff and we don't even realize what we're doing. And we do have to be careful on social media about what we say, especially if we want to stay on the good side of the algorithm and get our stuff out to more people. I think that's what's most important. Like, forget how many people, algorithm pushes it down, whatever. We really want to see how many people we can impact, right? So I want to give you a couple wins today, a couple ways to start winning quickly, okay? And these are just things that you can do to start seeing some wins over time, right? And again, that's why I called it quick wins, because if you start to implement these into your business, you will start to see wins. But here's what happens. Sometimes I give these to people and then they're like, well, I couldn't do this week because of that. Like, you have to implement the things into your business and to social media to see the results. Because if you don't, then you're just kind of like, flying, what's that, flying seed and bag in the wind or something like that. I don't know. It's a Katy Perry song. Anyway, so the first one is going to be providing real content. And I know we talk about this quite often, but think about like, what would your customer want to see? What would you want to see more of? I was seeing this last week. Like, I love seeing the moms that are like building the barn dominiums and they have the farm and it's all funded by their entrepreneurial business. Like, think more about, especially the fact if you're posting something and you're like, this is kind of lame. Like, what do you think your audience is thinking about what you're posting? If you are going into it already saying, this is kind of lame, or, this is why too, I stress to people, like, it's not important to post 50 times a day about nothing when you could just make one really good post, put time into one really good post instead of like a whole bunch of posts that you're kind of just like, crap, I got to post. Sydnee said post, like, so I'm going to do it. And it has no intention, no direction, no value. And don't overthink that word value. Every single person on the screen has value to offer to their audience of people that they're looking for. So think just about some ways that you can help people when it comes to posts and providing real content, right? Like, don't really need to do the join me now or the, and I'm not hating on anybody, I'm just saying what works is, especially when we're doing constant business stuff, right? And we don't have any opportunity to do like maybe some lifestyle things or things about life or, like I said to you guys last week, just doing like a life update on what's going on with you. That gives people an opportunity to like it and not feel, um, like there's some agenda there. So think of providing real content. That's always going to be the best one, I can tell you. And there's lots of stuff in the Hustle and Slay page. If you go to that little search bar and type in content, content creation, content ideas, like I've posted so much stuff about ways to create content. But the top way I'll tell you is get involved in some personal development. Whether you listen to a book, read a book, listen to a live podcast, whatever, it will help you create and formulate really good content. Learn to follow in order to lead. So you have to engage with other people if you want them to comment on your stuff. This is a big part of quick wins. I did this yesterday because sometimes I fall off too, y'all. I'm human, okay? Stuff happens. The 3, 10, 15, twice a day. So 3 times a day, you spend 10 minutes engaging with 15 people. So Jess and I were at the airport yesterday and I was like, oh, I'm going to just play around on my phone a little bit and just engage with some people. And I've been adding a ton of people because, again, I'm never going to ask people to do something I won't do. And I'm running to 5K on my friends list because I still have like 300 spaces left. So I found this new person in my stories, which my bad, right? That's why I said I'm human. I must have added her and not connected. But I saw her in my stories and she had a poll up asking like, how do you, what did she ask? How do you like handle your toddler when you're trying to cook or occupy your toddler when you're trying to cook? And I was like, just give him some pots and pans and like, let him make some music. That always worked for Zane. And then we started this whole conversation. She's like, hey, that was actually a really good idea. My daughter loved it. We had fun. Where are you from? So I'm asking her where she's from, that kind of stuff. Like you have to be talking to other people. And sometimes you have to be the person that says, hey, let your toddler be on a pot and pan, or, more than just like, oh, I see your story. Here's a little heart for you. I try on each story to say something because it always goes to their personal message and then we can engage. And sometimes what happens is people never respond, right? Like, especially if I see them, I sent a happy birthday message, they never said anything, or I engage with the story and they never said anything. Most of the time I just unfriend them and move along. Social media is for you to be social on the media. Okay. So many of us think it's so that we can scroll and see what people are doing. No, it's social on the media. Okay. You have to be engaging with other people. And what it creates too is it will tell, if you're someone that wants to get your stuff out to more people, it's going to tell Facebook that you're an active user. You're not just passive. You're not coming on, making a post and hopping off. You're actually engaging with other people, talking with other people. And this will switch up your whole feed too. Lots of people always ask me that. Like, oh, all I'm seeing is, people in my business or people in my company on my page. Like the only way that you can switch that up is you. All the social media is just showing you exactly what you look at. So if you want to switch it up, start engaging with more new people. One little thing I do when I'm doing my 3, 10, 15, if you start on your stories on Facebook, because I know most of us here are on Facebook, take your finger and go all the way till the end, till like you possibly can't end it anymore. Then start going through those stories. Those are all people that you have least engagement or interaction with. And most of the time it's people I forgot were there or people that were on my lead list, but it was just my bad and not following up or continuing to engage with them. So just some tips to keep engaging, because I think that's a very important thing too. Most of us are posting and then we're just hopping off, or we're posting and we're just liking people's stuff on our team or in our company, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want someone, Sally way over here who's you don't know, but you want to kind of see what kind of relationship you guys can build, then you need to be on Sally's stuff. She needs to be coming into your Facebook and going, oh, and the cool part, why I love engaging with other people is they're getting all these notifications. Sydnee Sleiman liked this picture. Sydnee Sleiman commented on this. Sydnee Sleiman's now in your messenger. They're getting all these notifications with your face, right? And then the next time you post something, let's say it's even just an attraction post, they're getting a little notification. I get a notification every time everyone on this screen makes a post on Facebook. Jessica Green added a new photo. Kristen made a reel. Like, it's because we just engage so much, right? Another thing to do that's very underestimated, in my opinion, is utilizing your analytics and your insights. So, even like, for example, I know most of us here are solely on Facebook, but on Instagram, you have all these insights if you have a business profile. It shows you like how far each story has gone. But you can create your own insights on Facebook. Like, treat your business like a business. What I do is like, okay, even a perfect example is your stories. Like, my story views were down last week, and I was like, let me look at this. And so I always screenshot it. And like, I realized for me, my stories go down during the week every week, but like Saturday and Sunday, for some reason, everyone's curious what I'm doing. They'll jump like 200 people. Also, what I realize is if I go and engage with other people, just like I was telling you guys, like scrolling all the way to the end of the stories, and I start to engage with people I haven't in a while, my least interacted, my stories fly through the roof. Because then all those people are probably like, where the heck is this lady coming from? I didn't even know she was still here. I didn't even know we were friends, right? And then they come and they look at your stuff. It's why it's important, first one, right, to provide real content. That's why I try to say, like, not, it doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. So don't get that part out of your head. But like showing up in your stories, trying to talk into your stories with your face, I would say try anywhere from like 2 to 3 times a week at least. I'm not a professional at that, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you I do it every day, because sometimes I fall off, or sometimes the day gets busy, um, or sometimes I have a pimple and I don't want to show everyone. Whatever, okay? We all have our stuff, but try to show your face in your stories 2 to 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be like, don't overthink it. You could just say, hey, I'm just driving to work right now. Hope you have a great day. You could do a motivational thing on Mondays. Hey, this is a quote I just thought of, and just say it into your stories. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated, but then it gives the people an opportunity to get to know you. Majority of my Facebook knows that I talk with my hands a lot. I make jokes, especially when I start getting nervous. I say things that most people probably wouldn't say on Facebook Live, but that's what I'm known for. And the only reason people get to know that side of me is because I go live, I show my face, I show those interactions. And that's why the next one that y'all are going to probably cringe for is, remember that video content is remaining the biggest source on social media right now. Whether it's TikTok that you do live, reels, video content is not going anywhere. So you can run from it for as long as you want. But I've been stressing this for probably 3 years. I think we've been doing these consistently for almost 2 years. And I've always been on here stressing, go live, go live, go live. And remember, it doesn't mean more work for you. Like, I think about Joey's perfect example. He does a lot of like motivational, faith-driven lives. He could take 30 seconds of one of those lives where he just had a power moment, turn it into a reel and a TikTok. It does not have to be complicated. And you guys, simple, very simple things on your phone. I'm all about free. You can go to your videos on your phone and just edit, clip them on your phone. I don't know about Android, but that's what you can do on iPhone. You can just clip a little part of it, take 30 seconds of it, like when you had a power moment, and make it a reel and a TikTok. It's like very easy to repurpose things. We just think sometimes like it's a lot harder than it is. Or what part was it most important? Like, I promise you, presence over perfection, because there is someone that is always being present and not worried about being perfect. So yes, lives, I'm always going to tell that to you. You can create them into reels, right? Like, Kristen uses her stories and creates it into a reel. So she's repurposing easy right there. She's already showing up on her stories, and then she just bam. Instagram's actually made it so easy for you guys. For all of us, if you go to Instagram and you make a story, there's a button now that says create reel. So you could just create a reel from your story right there without doing anything else. Okay. So try not to overthink that. Posting consistently, but not overwhelming. I kind of said that already, but just remembering that, like, showing up consistently. If you think right now, oh my gosh, I haven't done a live in a week, or I haven't made a post in a week, like, take a deep breath and then go do one, because it's consistently. Consistently means just showing up at the pace that works best for you, that you're able to maintain. But if you keep falling off that bandwagon of going a week without doing something, that's not consistency. And why I said don't overwhelm is because I know sometimes we get excited, like maybe you got a new kitten today, and then next thing you know, your kid won a football game, and next thing you know, somebody hit a bonus and you want to post about it all. Do that in your stories. Do that in your stories. Don't do that on your Facebook, because literally you're just fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself every time you make like double posts in a day. And don't get me wrong, like if you have something really exciting, do it. I am not the queen almighty. I'm just telling you what works best for me and for other people. Okay. So sometimes like if I have something exciting, I'll just wait till the next day to post it. Cause then I'm like, ooh, okay. But like reality posts live for about 24 hours or less. Sometimes they live a little bit longer, you know, like the kids are going to homecoming or something like that. They live a little bit longer, but usually they're going to get their most engagement in the first like 12, 10 or 0 to 12 hours. And then after that, they kind of just die off. So you can post the next day something. It's not the end of the world. And no one's going to know. Like, but what happens is if you make this post and I come to comment, but then you make another post and Joey goes and comments on that one, it's almost like they don't know which one to shove out because they're like, oh, they're both being engaged with. And so they're both good, but which one? She posts this one first, but this one after. Like, so you do this competition with yourself when it comes to engagement by over posting. Okay. This one, I always hate when I have to say don't take offense because I feel like immediately people will take offense, but it is what it is. Okay. So don't talk about 15 different things a day. Selling different things. I know we're all entrepreneurs here. Maybe some of us sell multiple things. That's why I stress to you, and Aaron and I had this conversation a couple weeks ago about branding yourself. When you brand yourself as an entrepreneur, as a business person, people will just come and say, hey, what do you do? Most of the time, they don't even know or care what you do. They're like, I just want to be a part of what you're doing. It looks fun. It looks like you're winning. I'm in. So many of us get like excited. I know there's some people who have like multiple businesses and they're always posting about all the things, right? Your page just ends up looking like a sales page. You're like, oh, is there a human in there? Or is it just like all sales? So I know it can be exciting. And I'm not saying you can't have more than one business or one product. That's fine. But don't do it like all day, every day, all in your stories, all on your page. Here's the 12 different things. You know, if you don't want some of this, I have this. And try to work on branding yourself, branding your lifestyle, branding that you're a business person, branding that, yeah, you have multiple ways to show people how to make money online. That is like one thing, right? And then you can decipher when the person comes to you, which place you want to put them in your business, in your life. But it's so hard once you get unfollowed or unfriended because maybe you're spammy. And I've done this. So I'm just the pot calling the kettle black. Okay. It's hard to get that friend back. You don't know they unfriended you or unfollowed you unless you go look, and don't do that. But there are better ways to keep your audience alive and close with attraction, more lifestyle things. And I want to leave you with choosing multiple platforms, right? That's what I said to you guys last week too. Like, try to show up on more than one platform, whatever that looks like for you. I'm not going to tell you, what you need to do. I personally, right now, I like Facebook and TikTok the most for showing up. My Instagram kind of just, I don't know, Instagram just changes so much. So it makes me perpetuated. But think about where you're on the most or where your people are on the most, right? Where you can also show up though. Because I think it's super important that people realize there are people who sit on TikTok all day and don't create any content, but then complain about where their business is at or complain about their social media not moving. Well, you're on a place that gives you content, but you're not providing any content. So you're not growing there. You're not making new friends there. You're not commenting on things. I look at Shar. I don't know if she's still here. I follow Shar on TikTok. And the last couple of weeks, like she had like the road to 1K, because at 1K you can start going live. So she was just asking people like, hey, share out my post. Can you help me get to 1K so I can go live? Like, that's showing up, and that's showing up consistently. And that's a great call to action, which I'm sure it did end up getting her to 1K. So just remember that, like, if you're on a platform and you're not creating that content I'm not telling you to get off of it unless it's harmful to your mental health, but think about a way you can start showing up on there, start creating more content. Because what she did, Shar, in that 1K is a quick win for her. She got all excited and then started posting more TikToks because, like, right, she got to 1,000. She got a bunch of new followers. Why not? Like, and then you get excited about your creation of content. You're talking to your audience, you're pushing out. So I'm going to post those words in the page too, so that we don't forget the things to stay away from, so that we don't affect our content or affect our engagement. And I'll always keep you guys up to date on everything I possibly can. If I hear something, I'm bringing it right down the line to be helpful, because I always want to keep you guys in the know and know what we're doing here. So hopefully this was helpful to you today. I would love, love, love if you go and you use some of the advice that I gave today. Go on the Hustle and Slay page and let us know what results you had, or just say maybe, hey, you know what? I took the results and I'm going to go live, and I'm super excited. Like, give us an opportunity in that page to support you and hold you accountable and help you grow in your business. So thanks, guys. Awesome. Have a great rest of your day. See you next time.